guys, today we're going to talk about axis of symmetry and how that applies to these fun quadratics. So I showed you some examples here if you want to look at those. Remember to pause the video, write down the title, write down the little, I want to see this graph in your notes, I want to see this, what it means, and then hit play so you understand what I'm talking about. Okay, pause the video, get this first half completely done, even the standard form up here, and then hit play. Okay, so let's dance around the whole thing. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is down here. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's our standard form for our quadratic equation. Okay, notice it has that square value. That tells me it's no longer linear. Linear was when we had problems like this, bx plus c, but it was more like mx plus b. Remember that? So this is the same idea. That was, slope-intercept form for linear. This is standard form for quadratics. Now, quadratics are a little bit more complicated because they aren't just a straight line that goes on forever and ever. They're these curves that loop around, that goes up and goes down completely perfect, right? A reflection on the other side. So what the axis of symmetry is, it is the line that splits the parabola, right? So, for example, right here, the green parabola, the line that splits that, I always do a dashed line for axis of symmetry, so I want to see those dashed lines, as long as you can, So when we draw the axis of symmetry, we're drawing a dashed line, and notice that it's a vertical line. Axis of symmetry, AOS, sometimes I write that, the vertical line that splits the parabola. So what is the x value at that part? Well, this is -5, this is -4. So the equation is x equals -4. Similarly, over here, the blue parabola, now I drew these by hand, so they're not perfect. If you're, creating them on a Desmos or something, like, it's going to be a perfect parabola. So this axis of symmetry, this vertical line, has an equation. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's x equals 3. Notice it's always x equals, okay? Now, using standard form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, we're not going to be given a graph. We're actually going to be given an equation. We're going to be expected to find the axis of symmetry. And this is how we do that. We use the equation x equals, because hello, we're getting an x equals line, right? That's the equation for a vertical line, is x equals some number. And it's going to be the opposite side of b over 2 times a. Just be super careful. You don't want to divide all of this. If you put this all in the calculator, you're likely to get something wrong. You always have to multiply 2 times a first before you can divide, okay? So just keep that in mind, and I'll show you an example and show you that exactly. Okay, so then pause the video, make sure you have everything above example 1 down, okay? Now we're going to example 1. Y equals 3x squared plus 6x plus 5. So that's our quadratic. We're not factoring this. Yay! We're going to graph it eventually, but not yet. Today, this moment, we're doing finding the axis of symmetry. So rewrite the formula for how to find that, because I want it to be, something that you're familiar with, that you don't have to continually look through your notes. Okay, so x equals the opposite of b over 2a. So the opposite of b, so I got to figure out what b is first, right? A, B, C. A, B, C. So my A is with my square value. So my 3 is my A. Oh, I could put that down here. And then my B is the one that's with the X. So that 6, that positive 6, is going inside there, because I have the opposite of B. So I need, if it's positive 6, now I need it to say -6 over. And then down here, 2 times A. So 2 times a, 2 times 3 is 6. So notice I'm doing the denominator first. I'm multiplying 2 times whatever that a value is first. Then we'll divide. You won't really need a calculator with this, so you can probably do all these numbers in your head or use your phone calculator. All right, so -6 divided by 6 gives you that -1. So my axis of symmetry is x equals -1. So my parabola goes around that part, okay? All right, cool. So example 2, I need a new marker, So example 2, I have y equals x squared minus 2x plus 3. And so now I have to identify, and this is slightly harder for multiple reasons. Let's start with our a value. What's the number in front? So remember, if you don't see anything, it's not 0, because then it would be gone. This wouldn't be a quadratic if it were 0. The number in front is a 1. So my a value, my denominator, my a value, right, that's an a, is 1. And the opposite of b, be careful with this, because the opposite of b is negative 2. It's the one with the x. It's the one with the x, so it's negative 2. So I have negative 2. What's the opposite of negative 2? Positive 2. And then 2 times 1, oh my goodness, did not plan that. Crazy. And now x equals 1, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, so the equation is x equals 1. What I don't want to see is just an answer of negative 1. Like, don't you dare just circle that. Rewrite it so that it looks like an equation so that you can draw that vertical line, okay? Make sure to circle those answers. Keep it super neat and awesome. Great job.